Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Next on HIKI NŌ, stories from across the island chain.
What chord is this?
That's a B-flat 7, but it's slow.
A vision-impaired student who dreams of becoming a music producer is blessed with perfect pitch.
Plus, a young photographer pushes boundaries and uses her art to confront gender stereotypes.
Also, a high school senior researches tips on a task she'll soon be facing: renting an apartment.
Discover a cross-cultural May Day celebration at Kona High School.
Learn what Queen Liliuokalani really wrote about the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy.
And find out how the shared experience of a life-threatening illness can bring people together.
All on this episode of HIKI NŌ, coming to you from Lanai High and Elementary School, home of the Pine Lads and Pine Lasses.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI NŌ Can Do!
We're back on the island of Lanai at Lanai High and Elementary School in the Ahupua'a of Kaumoku. While Lanai had many schools throughout the island in the 1800s, this particular campus was first opened in 1938 and hosted its first graduating class that same year. Prior to 1938, this area was cultivated for crops and vegetables by the Manami family. During the Doe pineapple plantation, the school was the hub of community activities such as band concerts, school sporting events, and school plays. During the summer, classmates would work together in the pineapple fields. Boys would bring girls ice cream and soda during the day shift, and girls would bring coffee to the boys during the night shift. In memory of the pineapple plantation generation, students at Lanai High and Elementary School are known as the Pine Lads and Pine Lasses. Our first story takes us to Central Oahu, where journalists from Waipahu High School highlight a student with impaired vision but a perfect ear for music.
My name is Jack, and I'm 18 years old. I'm 12th grade at Waipahu High School.
Jack, aka Rocky, is like many students with aspirations of becoming a singer and music producer. Rocky has a bright future ahead of him. The challenges he faces, however, may dim his path. Rocky is visually impaired. He has a hard time seeing. His vision is blurred, giving him difficulties in his daily life.
When I was born, my family, they don't know that my eyes is kind of blurred, because before I was 1 year old, they told me that I was crying, and keep crying until I turned 1, and then they found out that my eyes.
These difficulties, however, do not discourage Rocky from seeing beyond his disabilities. In fact, being visually impaired fueled his passion for the art of music even more. Besides being born partially blind, he was also born with a great sense for music.
I got a great gift from Father, Heavenly Father. You know how to explain, but it's like perfect. I got perfect pitch, and my ears are like, I can hear anything, everything.
According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, perfect pitch is being sensitive to or having exactly the right tone or style in music.
What chord is this?
That's a B-flat 7, but it's slow.
Someone who has perfect pitch can hear notes accurately from an instrument or a voice. That person could also pick out chords from a song, know what key that song is in, and Rocky has that.
In his music tech class, Rocky uses a music program called Reason to create his music.
Reason is some music program that you can produce beat and record. It's a studio for computers, same as FL Studio, but FL Studio is kind of a little bit harder than this. I listen to all kind of music. Sometimes I don't listen to the lyrics, I just listen to the beats, like other music, like for example, like German music.
Through his experiences, Rocky wants to share one message.
Don't let your limitations stop you.
This is Victoria Cuba reporting from Waipahu High School for HIKI NŌ.
If you would like to comment on the story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO.
We're back on the island of Lanai. The sixth largest of the Hawaiian Islands, Lanai is 18 miles wide and 13 miles long, flanked by the islands of Maui, Molokai, and Kaho'olawe. According to ancient Mele, Lanai, or Nanai Ka'ulahea, as it was known long ago, was born of the god Wa'akea and the goddess Ka'uluvahine. The name Lanai means Day of Conquest, which reminds us of the day when Chief Ka'ulula'au defeated the ancient spirit inhabitants of the island. This is the Ahupua'a of Palawai, where at the island peak of Lanai Hale, Ka'ulula'au famously trapped and blinded ghosts in a grass hale and set it on fire, thus allowing his people to safely settle here. Our next story comes to us from Iolani School on Oahu, where students introduce us to an artist who sees the world differently through the lens of her camera.
To most people, the snap of a camera is just the sound of a picture being taken. But for Iolani senior Rachel Heller, it's the sound of art.
A lot of my work has to do with defying traditional gender roles and gender identities. I identify as feminist, so in the future I hope to use my photography and my art to help fight for women's rights and combat traditional gender roles.
Rachel is dedicated to her art and will do almost anything to take the perfect picture, even hiking into the forest and covering her subjects with Vaseline to get a particular effect.
But eventually I use it as a way to create different realities and sort of shape my own identity. But I'm very thankful to have people who are willing to cooperate with me so I can achieve my vision.
Through her photography and Empower Club that she helped start on campus, Rachel is working towards equal rights for women and helping girls understand that you don't have to look a certain way to be considered beautiful.
We want to make sure girls are comfortable in their own skin and they understand that they don't have to conform to these stereotypes that are put out there by the media and even by their own peers.
One of Rachel's teachers, Miss Teresa Falk, has seen Rachel grow as a student and as a friend.
The one word I would use to describe Rachel is herself, and it's very simple. She's herself. To try to find other words to describe her just doesn't feel right. You know, the growth I think from her comes from her passion.
A lot of the art that I create comes from a very personal place, and I did a series on anxiety and depression in black and white film last year, and through that kind of imagery, I hope that people who are facing the same sort of emotional trauma can relate and find some sort of solace. After I go to art school, I would love to shoot conceptual fashion photography because there's a lot out there that you can do with fashion, and to be able to collaborate with different creative minds would be amazing. And I want to be able to share my own personal vision through galleries and just put myself out there. Hopefully I'll be able to translate a lot of my work into political activism as I get older.
Rachel will attend Parsons, the new school for design in New York. Though she plans for a career in conceptual fashion photography, Rachel hopes that her work will have a powerful social message. This is Riley Sakamoto from Iolani School, reporting for HIKI NŌ.
We're back on Lanai at Ka'a, the largest aupua on Lanai, home to Keahiakavelo on the northern part of the island. The traditional place name Keahiakavelo may be translated as fire made by Kavelo. At this place, the Lanai priest Kavelo protected the people of Lanai in a battle against Lanikaua, a priest of Molokai. As told in this tradition, the smoke of Kavelo's fire rose into the surrounding Lehua groves, turning Lanai's Lehua a deep purple. Celebrated in newspapers of the late 1860s, these unique blossoms were reported to be entirely lost by 1912 as a result of wild goats eating their bark. Our next story comes from the Kaimuki district of Oahu, where Sacred Hearts Academy Senior takes us through one of the rites of passage for high school graduates, renting an apartment.
As I go off to college within the next couple of months, I'm going to start searching for a place to live. And I've come to realize I have almost no idea about the renting process. So here's some important information I've come to find out. First, you must fill out a rental application.
Doing this will permit the landlord to run personal credit card and background checks. Keep in mind there's an application fee which varies in price. If your application is approved, you sign the lease agreement. After the lease is signed, you pay the first month's rent in advance, as well as a security deposit. A security deposit is money a landlord takes in case you violate the terms of the rental agreement. It can also be used to cover damaged property, cleaning, key replacement, or unpaid rent. You should be refunded the whole deposit if the rental unit is in good condition when you move out. The final step of the renting process is moving in and enjoying your new place. This is Sarah Yu from Sacred Hearts Academy reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Here we are, overlooking the Aopua of Mauna Lei and the Puhonua at Hookio. The place name Hookio may be interpreted as to gather together and calls to mind the haunting sounds of the Hookio gourd whistle, which the people of Lanai used in times of invasion. At this fortified ridge, the people of Lanai took their final stand against the forces of Kalaniopuu and the young warrior Kamehameha I. During this battle, Kalaniopuu's warriors ran out of food and survived by eating kupala roots. Because this starvation diet gave the warriors dysentery, the battle is known today as Komokuhi, the Battle of the Loose Bowels. Local tradition tells how Kini, a survivor of the battle and skilled cliff jumper, outwitted his captors by leaping down the tall cliff face and escaping with his life. Today, it is possible to hear the strong winds of the valley whistling through the fortified notches of Ho'okio, reminding us of the people of Lanai who fought for their land in the Battle of Komokuhi. This is Gravel Point, a lookout near Pu'ulala in the Aopua of Palma'i. Here you can get a good view of the colorful rooftops of Lanai City. With construction beginning in 1923 by the Hawaiian Pineapple Company, Lanai City was built as a planned community for the plantation. Each of the main streets run alphabetically from west to east and numerically from north to south. Today, over 3,000 residents live here, many of whom are descended from immigrant plantation workers and native Hawaiian families. We now take you to the Kona side of Hawaii Island, where the students at Kealakehe High School show how their May Day celebration embraces a multitude of cultures.
May Day programs are common in schools throughout Hawaii. However, Kealakehe's annual culture celebration has expanded to include much more.
We try to include a lot more cultures, and I think we have a diverse population of students here that are very close to their culture. And so it really does help set us apart. This really is a great opportunity for all students and even the community members, as well as faculty and staff, to come together and to celebrate in the different cultures that we have. Well, our vision is harmony and unity, providing dynamic education for everyone every time. And this gives us an opportunity to actually live that vision. I hope people take away more than just what they see. Don't get me wrong, I would love them to take away a great performance, a memorable one, an inspiring one. That would be all great. But more than that, hopefully they would take away the deeper meaning of the performance. But yet they go away with more clarity, more distinct view of, or maybe even an appreciation, I would say, of that culture.
With about 40 community members and 70 students involved, this event truly is a culture celebration for everyone, every time. This is Kasala Vailea from Kealakehe High for HIKI NŌ.
Welcome back to Lanai City, situated in the Ahupua'a of Kamoku. This is the Pedro de la Cruz Gym, the largest building on the Lanai High and Elementary School campus, and whose name honors a famous Lanai labor leader. Once employing over 3,500 workers and spanned over 14,000 acres, the Lanai Dole Plantation was the world's largest producer of pineapple at the time. Work on the plantation was not easy, and due to the low wages and employee benefits, plantations throughout the territory of Hawaii went on strike in 1951. Although outer islands gave in to company demands, Lanai workers, led by Pedro de la Cruz and other community leaders, banded together to hold out for a grueling 201-day strike. Japanese, Filipino, and other ethnic communities combined efforts and survived by sharing their hunting, fishing, and home garden resources. Because of the perseverance of the Lanai workers, plantations throughout the territory won higher wages, and the people of Lanai won the right to buy homes. Our next story comes from Oahu, where students at Kamehameha Schools Kapalama explore a new, more complete publication of Queen Liliuokalani's observations on the overthrow.
The Queen's legacy of humility, strength, and forgiveness inspired local nonprofit Hui Hanai to re-release an expanded version of Queen Liliuokalani's memoirs. Written while the last monarch of the Hawaiian Kingdom was under house arrest, Hawaii's story by Hawaii's Queen in its original publishing was heavily censored by editors on the East Coast.
It's really important to bring Liliuokalani's words forward for today. It was really important to let her be heard.
The beauty of the book is not only in its visual design, but also in the unfolding of new stories and never-before-seen archival photos, which all shed light on Hawaiian history.
So most people who had read the book in the past had said they had figured out what had happened by reading between the lines. I mean, there's a chapter called The Overthrow of the Monarchy that doesn't really talk about the overthrow at all. It always been very strange, and this revelation that there's a fuller version, it makes a lot of sense.
There's an obvious difference in size, and there are so many things that the Queen wanted to say during that time that she couldn't be able to say. And now, more than 100 years later, I think that it's great that she's finally able to have her words out in the public.
As the first place winners in the State History Day documentary division, Kamehameha students Casey Yasuda and Tehani Lewis Perkins will use the new passages from the book to provide a deeper perspective that will hopefully further their success at nationals in Maryland.
My project is about Queen Liliuokalani's 1897 trip to Washington, D.C., and it basically just follows her and what she did while she was there.
It was during this time that the Queen stood up to the U.S. to seek the restoration of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Until now, this important part of history has only been told by those who overthrew the Queen and took control of the Hawaiian Kingdom.
Now we have the full version of both sides. So the Queen's side is especially important for kind of undoing this context that's been created by the dominance of only one side of the story. So neither side is definitive. Everybody should be reading both sides.
History isn't something that happened and it's done. We constantly uncover new things about the past that we didn't know. Reading her words can help Hawaiians understand and possibly heal and really come to a realization for themselves and move on.
we're the next generation, you know, we're the ones that she thought about. You know, it's for us to look up to and for us to live up to. And we've seen the 1970s Renaissance. And I just think that we can do that too as young Hawaiians if we're educated and we know our history.
Those interested in learning more about Hawaii's story by Hawaii's Queen can visit the University of Hawaii Press website. For HIKI NŌ, I'm Elijah Hulen at Kamehameha Schools Kapalama.
If you would like to comment on the story or anything you see on HIKI NŌ, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/HIKINOCanDo or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKINOCanDo.
Welcome back to the island of Lanai. Although most of our food resources are imported by barge on a weekly basis, many people on Lanai garden, hunt, and fish to provide for themselves. This spirit of sustainability is deeply rooted in the self-reliance of the plantation generation, who made the most of what little they had. These are the community gardens, a community-organized collective located on the western outskirts of town. Mostly run by Filipino families, these gardens provide a substantial amount of family food. Another food supply on Lanai is hunting game. Beginning with 12 deer in 1920 and 10 muflon in 1954, the population of grazing animals on Lanai may now number in the thousands. Our final story comes from Central Oahu, where students at Kapolei High School show how people who have suffered through life-threatening illnesses come together and bond.
This is awesome. I love it. This is the first time there's so many more people than the past few years. I love it.
Every year, Kapolei hosts the cancer awareness event Relay for Life. The event itself is a fundraiser as well as a chance for people whose lives have been touched by cancer to gather, reminisce, and to celebrate.
It's like everybody's all one here, yeah, because they have something in common. It's either someone you know passed or someone's going through it, right? In 2010, in September, my husband passed away. He had liver cancer. 5 days before his funeral, I found out I had breast cancer. And, you know, we've been coming here ever since, every year, just hoping they find a cure and nobody goes through what I had to go through.
This year, Relay for Life was especially important to one member of Kapolei High School. Brittany Manley, a 9th grade English teacher at Kapolei, talks about how cancer has affected her life.
About a little over a year ago, my husband, Chemo Manley, got diagnosed with a glioblastoma brain tumor. And so ultimately we heard about it through the school and we wanted to attend just in terms of supporting people who are battling cancer and know people battling cancer.
Chemo was given 12 to 15 months to live by doctors back in January of 2013, 15 months ago. He attributes his stabilization to a healthy, holistic lifestyle and a positive outlook.
If my husband has taught me anything, it's just to stay positive and focus on all the good things in life despite the challenges he faces. So a lot of times when I'm like grumbling about like petty things, you know, for him to just like always have that smile on his face and surround himself around positive people and a supportive group of people. I think it really takes people going through something like this a long way. Just never taking each day for granted. It sounds cliche, but it's definitely true.
While this event itself provides an opportunity to remember those who have lost their battle to cancer, it's also a chance to reflect on their accomplishments, to celebrate those who still live on, and advocate for a cure through hope. For Kapolei High School and HIKI NŌ, I'm James Domingo.
We're back on the island of Lanai, on the beautiful sands of Hulapoi in the Ahupua'a of Palawai. A sheltered bay, Hulapoi is home to many marine and reef animals. Hulapoi Bay was established as a beach park and a marine life preserve by the Lanai community. Today, only swimming, surfing, pole fishing, and traditional Hawaiian vessels are allowed in the bay. Today, the park is governed by the Lanai Community Council. This conservation district extends toward Pu'upehe, which was famously scaled by a renowned warrior of Lanai, Makakehau, as he mourned the loss of his love, Pu'upehe, a woman of Maui who died tragically in the waves below.
Thank you for joining us on our tour of Lanai. We're at the end of this episode of HIKI NŌ.
Remember, all these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
Be sure to tune in to next week's episode for more proof that Hawaii students, HIKI NŌ, can do!
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.